Hey there, it's me again with just an impromptu little video because today's like 30th anniversary of my very first heavy metal gig. Monsters of Rock 1988 at Castle Donington, with a lineup composing of Helloween to kick off, then Megadeth, then Guns N' Roses, then Dave Lee Roth, then Kiss, and then finally Iron Maiden. At the time, my life was Iron Maiden. I loved Iron Maiden at that time. I was a complete Iron Maiden fan. In fact, Helloween album, Guns N' Roses album, I bought a Dave Lee Roth album, I bought a Kiss album, and I bought a Megadeth album simply because I knew they were playing at Monsters of Rock. I hadn't heard of them before. Before I bought my ticket for Iron Maiden Monsters of Rock, I'd never even heard of those other bands. So that's kind of like, you know, how I got into other bands from them. So obviously from that lot, Dave Lee Roth and Kiss weren't really my cup of tea. Helloween weren't bad. Guns N' Roses, I liked them at the time, but I kind of went off them when I got into more heavier stuff, like the Megadeths and that, and even sort of Iron Maiden. They were my favourite band at the time, of possibly of my life, my favourite band I suppose, but I kind of moved on from them as well. They got a bit too soft for me, not so interesting as they were when I first got into them. But you know, you can't deny Iron Maiden's, you know, beauty for getting people into the stuff to start off with. Anyway, I thought people might be interested in looking at some of my sort of memorabilia from that day. I picked up, like, you got like magazines and all that kind of stuff, so I'm going to go through it, and if I can think of any memories of the gig while I'm looking at it, which is doubtful because I've got a brain like a sieve, as you probably know if you've watched any of my videos before. But I'll go through this stuff, and if it pricks any memories, I will let you know about them. And if you're interested, good. If you're not interested, tough. Anyway, cheers. Alright, so I kept all my stuff in this plastic wallet basically, apart from the ticket. I've only just managed to dig out the ticket from a drawer. Now, I rather badly laminated this, so it looks like it's creased. The actual ticket is not creased, it's just the lamination. The lamination's got dimples in it. I think I might be able to peel it off and not damage the ticket, but I'm not going to try that now. So, will I try that now? No, it will peel off from the back, all right, but I don't think the ticket will actually. If the ticket peels away from the plastic, it might be ruined. So I'll just leave it as it is. The ticket under there is in good condition anyway. So this ticket is 30 years old, over 30 years old. I don't remember when I bought it. I know that I went with my brother's friend. My brother's friend, Chris Taylor, his name was. He started off as a mod. When my brother was first hanging out with him, he was a mod. They used to go around on their bloody mopeds and listen to bloody Yardbirds and stuff like that. And then he developed a love for Iron Maiden and heavy metal. He was the first person to play me a Slayer record, actually. I went round his house a couple of times. He said, hey, let's have a listen to this Slayer. And I was like, fucking hell, what's this noise? This is just like, ah! But yeah, obviously I grew to love it. But yeah, so I went to Iron Maiden, this gig with him actually. So his parents lived up there. The parents, because they lived in London, they just moved up to, what was that part of the world they'd moved to? I can't remember, Great Yarmouth. I think it was Great Yarmouth. No, it was, oh, fucking hell. It was a seaside resort. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. There's like, the weather here is so bracing. I remember that's like a catchphrase for the area. I can't remember the name of the area now. Skegness, I think it was Skegness. The weather here is so bracing. I'm sure there was a sign saying that when we drove past his house, or his parents' house, or was on the way to his parents. I can't remember now. But anyway, I can't remember what I was even getting onto. But yeah, he ended up going from Iron Maiden. He ended up being a bloody house party bloody fiend, because he could take all the happy acid drugs and like, you know, dance like a fiend. So he kind of like he was a chameleon with his musical tastes. He went from mods to bloody Iron Maiden and metal to becoming a blinking cheesy quaver. Anyway, so that was the ticket. Memories of when I got there. I'm glad we had some drivers actually. We stayed around his parents, they drove us there. It was a bloody long drive as well actually, and there was a lot of traffic around as well, so it was quite hard to get into it. But I'm glad we wasn't on a coach or anything, because I think it would have been a bloody nightmare. And the only thing I can remember about going in is they took your beer off you, I think you was allowed to take your own beer in, but you had to put it in plastic bottles, or it had to be already in plastic bottles. And those plastic bottles, it was like, I've never seen the like since, but back in the day that was the thing, was just to throw your plastic bottles everywhere. I don't quite know what the point of that was, but it was definitely a thing in those days. The amount of plastic bottles that would whack you on the back of the head. Like people would, I think, man, I'm not sure how true it is, but people would piss in the plastic bottles and then lob it forwards, and you could look up in the sky, there'd be like at least 50 bottles of bloody plastic in the air, flying in different directions, trailing plumes of piss or whatever was inside them, whatever was left of your beer, but it's probably piss or water, I don't know. But yeah, I tried not to sniff it when it hit me. Right, so that was the ticket. But now when we got there as well, they were giving out the first issue of Raw magazine. Raw magazine was brand new, just come out. I think it was that month. Yeah, fortnightly, #1. started 31st of August to the 13th of September, so it was literally just coming out at that time, and there was a number, issue 0, pilot issue, Rock Action Worldwide. I forgot that's what Raw stood for, Rock Action Worldwide. Yeah, so I collected Raw for a while after I got a freebie at Iron Maiden, and obviously you got the Iron Maiden preview. Distributed free with official Monsters of Rock programme. First 60-page issue on sale August the 31st. I can't remember if I bought this afterwards and I decided to keep it. But all my other Raws, all my other metal magazines, I actually flogged them actually. Yeah, it's got a Donaldson review in there. Steve Harris interview by the looks of it. And so this one was like a playing with monsters, the Monsters of Rock. Yeah, Halloween, Guns N' Roses, Megadeth. Can't really see it all. Dave Lee Roth at the top there, and Kiss. Let's move the camera about. There we go. I'm not sure it's worth looking inside it if anyone's interested or not. I don't want to take this video too long. But yeah, it was a good day. And then there was got this in here as well. Donington Special Maniacs. I'm assuming this was just a one-off magazine, unofficial edition. I don't remember it being an ongoing thing. Maiden Megamouth. This is 30 years ago though. I'm assuming has he got an issue date in this? This is a Donington Special, so yeah. So that's how Brucey looked 30 years ago. I doubt if I even read this since. If I read it at the time, I'm not too sure. There's Steve. I think you see him all right there. Steve Harris, back in his heyday. West Ham scarf round his waist. Good man. West Ham armbands, up the hammers. I've been bloody cold as well, so sorry about the sniffing. Yeah, I remember Kiss were quite boring. I don't remember Kiss being. I don't think they were in their makeup stage at that point. I think they'd gone past the makeup stage, and this is how they were looking in them days, probably. Yeah, not looking good. That's all I can say. But yeah, I never particularly liked Kiss, and Dave Lee Roth was pretty boring as hell as well. Jump was. I think he did a cover of Jump. Because that was what was that? I can't remember. I can't remember what his first band. What his band was called now? Van Halen, wasn't it? Van Halen. Yeah. Yeah. Whatever happened to him anyway? Dave Lee Roth. You never hear anything about him anymore, do you? Was this? Did he have another album after this? I can't remember ever hearing any more stuff by him. Not that I care to anyway. But there you go. I remember when we got to the venue as well, there was an article that had been written in one of the newspapers sort of disparaging the whole Monsters of Rock thing, saying it was full of patchouli oil smelling long-haired louts kind of thing, belonging in the caveman age or something like that. There was an article in one of the big newspapers taking the piss out of it, and I think one of the DJs, one of the Bailey brother DJs, they actually read out the article to the crowd that were there. And we all booed, obviously. This guy, Chris, who I went up there with, he actually found the article and he had it pinned up on his wall at one point in his music room when he was playing me Slayer and other bands that I was just discovering for the first time. I remember seeing the article still there on the wall. Anyway, that's another Iron Mighty, whatever that is. £1.50. How much is this? I don't know. They're comparable with what prices of magazines are now. Probably $3.99 now, ain't they, magazines? I haven't bought a metal mag for ages. Stopped collecting Terrorizer bloody years ago. Can't be arsed of it anymore. I sold all my old, I already sold all my old magazines as well. But one thing, so I've really got no memory of I remember Megadeth doing the encore. Not wrong, I did Anarchy in the UK. I remember them playing that. I remember when the weirdest memory, when I was going through the gate, as well as putting all your plastic bottles, beer into plastic bottles, Madhouse by Anthrax was playing on the speakers as I was waiting to queue up to go in, because I remember singing along to Madhouse. That's about it really, that's the only thing I can remember about that. Guns N' Roses, a lot of people you probably know, a couple of guys actually died at the Monsters of Rock that year. I think it was the biggest ever crowd. They had like 105,000 is what I can remember. It may have been more than that or less. That's what I remember being told anyway. And it was like the largest crowd ever at that time. That was just in the UK or in the world. I'm not too bloody sure. I can't remember. It was maybe for a concert. There must have been some other kind of category for that. I'm not too sure. But it was largest, either in the UK or in the world, largest concert at that time. And when Guns N' Roses played, when they came on to play, they were quite big at the time. They've only just kind of emerged with the first album, Appetite of Destruction, and the crowd just surged forward, and we was, I say, midway down, I suppose, and when everyone went forward, everyone just kept, you followed up, because you thought, okay, everyone's going forward, we'll all follow up forwards, not knowing that people at the front were getting bloody crushed and drowning in mud or whatever the fuck was happening at the front. But they stopped the show and made everyone walk back. I'll try to ask people to move back. I know the thing is, people backing up was a lot fucking slower than people going forwards, unfortunately. I mean, I definitely backed up when they was asking us to do it, but no one had the idea of how fucking terrible the situation was going on at the front. But so it was still to this day, I don't really know exactly what happened. But yeah, and those were the days when we never had a mobile phone. So apparently the news broke out, and people were saying, 2 people had died at Monsters of Rock. And my family were thinking, fuck, I hope it's not Graham and his mate. But needless to say, it wasn't. I wouldn't be here now doing you this boring video. But yeah, I'm not sure it's worth looking into these magazines or not if people are interested in my crappy fucking remembrances. And it's not in mint condition anyway. Look, there's a little scuff on Dave's head. Dave Murray's head's got a scuff on it. Right, so that I can't remember if I bought those at the actual festival or if I bought them after. I probably bought some of those magazines after. I know the preview of Raw definitely got that at the time. Right, so that's the official programme. I'm not sure if you can see it too well. Can't really sort of get my camera to sort of show things up at the right side. Let's just hold it like this, and hopefully you'll get a better idea. But yeah, you don't get this kind of thing at gigs anymore, do you? I'm sure I mean, I don't remember another gig since where you get like a package like this where you can get a programme and that. It just doesn't seem to be the done thing anymore. I mean, Bloodstock don't do programmes, do they? Iron Maiden and other gigs don't think I've had any programmes. But yeah. So I suppose the guys will be in their 30s, would they? Early 30s at this point, 30 years ago. Then they're all 60 odd now, aren't they, some of them? So maybe early to mid 30s. Before Adrian Edmondson, is it? No, not Adrian Edmondson. Adrian Smith. Before he moved on, didn't he? He moved on for a while. And of course Bruce left for a while as well, didn't he? When they had Blaze Bayley in for a bit. But this was definitely in their... This is definitely their heyday lineup, definitely. Yeah, one of them anyway. They've had a lot of good lineups over the years. Yeah, Iron Maiden being Iron Maiden, really. I'm not sure there's much of interest to people to look at. I'm just going to flip through the pages. See if I can get the fucking more of the pages in so you can actually see a bit. Yeah, and other than I don't remember having sore feet. I wasn't such an old bastard then. I remember singing along to practically every song on Iron Maiden run. And the atmosphere was mad. It's a massive crowd there. Everyone's singing along to it. Probably the biggest buzz of a gig that I've ever had. Just bearing in mind it was my first gig at the time, and so it was like a religious experience. Oh dear, look at Kiss. Look at Kiss. Yeah, that's the. I'm kind of glad I never got into this kind of rock metal, to be honest, because this is just I don't know, daft. A bit of fun, I suppose, but daft as well. Dave Lee Roth. Yeah, what is he wearing? I started to sound like a granddad complaining about what the kids are wearing today. No, I always complained. Even back in the day I thought fucking glam metal and was rubbish. I always hated glam. I didn't mind Guns N' Roses at the time when I first heard them, but I eventually gave that album to my little brother who doesn't like metal at all but likes Guns N' Roses. And Def Leppard as well. He had my Def Leppard album off me as well, my little brother. I think first Guns N' Roses isn't worth money now. I don't know if it was a first press or what. It would be bloody ironic if it was worth money and my little brother had it off me. That's it really. That's talking about the new Fortnightly magazine, Rock Action Worldwide, coming soon. Of which I say that you saw issue 0 and issue 1 there. I wonder if they're worth anything on eBay. I mean, I flogged all the others on eBay. They're only worth like bloody 99p or something. But Anthrax are in here because I think on the European tour, Anthrax were on. I wish Anthrax had been in instead of fucking Kiss. Actually, if Anthrax had been on instead of Kiss or instead of bloody Guns N' Roses, well, it might have been a different day. Great White. I think I saw Great White playing with what do you call it? Oh, fucking hell, my brain is shit. Alice Cooper. I'm sure Great White supported Alice Cooper once when I went to see Alice Cooper because my girlfriend at the time liked him, so that's why I went to see Alice Cooper. And Treat, if Treat were playing outside my house, I'd fucking shut the windows. That's how little I'd be interested in watching Treat. Yeah. But anyway, that's it. The new single, The Evil That Men Do. To be honest, I think I mentioned this on a previous video when I was going through my vinyl. The Seventh Son of a Seventh Son album is not one of my favourites at all. It was pretty poor compared to the ones that preceded it, if you ask me. The tracks just didn't really catch me. They were alright, but they just weren't, you know, immediate enough for me. They didn't grab me, didn't capture me, didn't pull me in, didn't maintain my interest. And I think from then on, really, I started moving on to more heavier stuff after that. But it was like an awesome bloody day out, an awesome gig, great memory to have. I kind of wanted to, I was really hoping that I could organise like a 30-year-on kind of like, I don't know, like get a few tribute bands to recreate the Monsters of Rock 30-year experience kind of thing. I was trying to get hold of the Unicorn to do it, but unfortunately it was all booked up. And of course it being a Monday today anyway, there's bugger all going on, so I wouldn't mind if there was a gig on tonight to go out. I like to, on the anniversary of my first gig, I like to try and go to a gig if I can. I think on the 20th anniversary of my first gig, I might have been the 25th, I went to see, I knew I was going to forget the name of the band as soon as I tried to remember it. You know that band from, I think they're from Finland, they dress up in face paint, battle metal. I saw them, I think it was the 25th anniversary of my first gig. I can't remember now, it might have been the 20th. Probably the 20th actually, because I went with my previous girlfriend. So that would have been nearly 10 years ago now. So yeah, what is the name of that bloody Finnish band? Battle metal. Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, cheers for watching. Spin this around so you can see my gorgeous face once more. Right, I'm buggering off. Sorry for a really boring and crap video. I thought it might be fun, but it probably wasn't. Anyway, don't forget to check out my vinyl videos if you're interested. I do demo tape videos on Tuesdays, talking about an old demo tape and making a blog of it where you can listen to it. Sometimes you can download it if I think the band won't mind. If the band have been split up for so long that they're bound not to care, then I'll make it available for download. And also, Thursday I put free metal up on my blog, so yeah, free links to 3 different metal things you can download, and they're all bloody cool and they're all free, my favourite price. And on Sunday I do my podcast, so go to the blog, check out my podcast on my blog, listen to High Speed Hangover podcast. Anyway, cheers for watching. In 30 years time maybe I'll do this video again if I'm still here, which I probably won't be.